Can we have some feedback on camera work? Camera work
There's
feedback?
some good steady cam.
I like the
beginning bit.
the drink in the cup shot. That was good.
Yeah.
I think that was very good. That's the one that stands out the most to me. But yeah, it was good.
And you like?
There was one bit where Tammy's head got cut.
When she was talking to Sophia.
When she was talking to Sophia, top of her head got cut.
Yeah, and your cuts were too fast.
Okay.
That's it.
Can we just slow down the... That's the word. That,
It's too fast.
Amy, well, that's with Gemini.
Yeah.
And then there's one bit where it says Kay's name. That's fine. Yeah, just say that down a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's
What about the music? Feedback on the music?
There's nothing wrong with that, the actual music. It's just I don't know what relevance was it reggae song at the end? Because obviously because it goes and then she does the menacing thing. So I don't know. Maybe there should be like something where it builds up to the menacing.
Oh, so it wasn't that effective.
For me, it just came out of nowhere. I'm not saying the song's bad, but I just don't know where it was coming from. So.
Oh yeah, and with the news thing, you can, like the bad continuity and stuff. And also at the beginning you can hear.
Like when the Tanya's photo came up, and then the camera went on to her to have that little gasp, and then it went back. It didn't look like as if the news. It looked as if the news stopped for her to have that gasp.
Especially the news while on top.
Yeah, for continuity sake, wasn't it?
Are we talking about the news now? Because I just have one point. When I don't know, but I wouldn't normally associate hearing a newsreader going, beware of their whereabouts, we don't know who their next victim is. If it's a national news, I don't know if they say that. I think they would go more like, it's been blah blah blah, the police are looking, but I wouldn't say, we don't know who the next killer's going to be. I don't know, but that's just my opinion.
Well, you already spoke about timing, so
How about the challenging conventions?
Mise en scène. I don't know what look you're going for, but I'm just going to ask you, there were like pizza boxes and there was a bag. There was a bag. Yeah, there was a pizza box, I noticed that. There was a bag with that looked like to be the camera equipment. There was always a little baby's chair, just place there. Which, if that's what the look you're going for, then obviously that's fine, but I don't know if that's what you're, as a group, trying to look. So, just something I noticed.
anything else?
Yeah, I can tell you as well.
Yeah, there should have been like.
Because at the beginning when she was taking the pregnancy test, it looked like the good twin. She had to say the rest.
There's a bit when the protagonist is on the man's lap, and then there's a quick bit where she gets arrested.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, it was coming that quick, and I did. So I was like,
Oh, she's hiding that.
How did she find the twins' house?
Yeah, how did she do that?
How did she find the twins' house?
Yeah, and also a policewoman has a pistol.
It makes sense. How can her boyfriend know it's her when she had the scar? It does not make sense. You should know his girlfriend doesn't have the mark.
I got a good one.
You see how she jumped in and quickly, like, don't worry, like.
I got.
And she was not wearing all black.
Yes, she was.
No, the bad twin was. The good one
So you
wasn't.
can always tell something different between identities.
The good
Because I'm confused.
No, what are you talking about? She wasn't wearing all black. She was wearing
No,
No, but when she
she
was with the guy, she was wearing the sleeveless and the shoes.
That's the good twin. The good twin was wearing the beige, the bad twin is wearing all black.
So with the good twin,
Good twin and
the boy is I don't know what he
Oh, I
it could work
got
out.
you.
Because obviously, if you know me as one, I'm wearing this, and the next thing, I'm
I'm
wearing
wearing
black,
black,
and
you're
you're
coming
supposed to
in.
play my trend. Is this
It
supposed to
doesn't
be
make
more
sense.
Oh, I
Match
think
up
because
to
she
the
left the
word
one
was
thing and came back in something else.
Yeah.
She probably just got a jumper or something. It was cold.
the entire. Am I making sense? And your hideaway scene needs to make sense because I didn't know.
Yeah, it looks like she
Go
got
like
like
she just stopped in one place and then.
Well, I was going to give your group credit because I think obviously it's easy to go for a very easy storyline, and you can see that you've confused us. And obviously, with a couple of tweaks, I think it's quite an ambitious storyline. And if you do a couple of tweaks, you can make it work. And also, at the end, you've kind of like done what we've gone with, like a sort of last-minute poignant sort of stare or feeling of emotion. So I think that's quite good. Like you see her close the door, so you think, well, what's going to happen? She's going to kill him. So I think that's good. So yeah.
Yeah, I like this plotline of the twins though.
But it's quite complicated. You just got to make sure
Yeah.
you can.
She got
And Renata.
Yeah, I can tell the difference between them. So,
I can, because
guys, I think what I've written down is that there's too much for an opening 2 minutes. You're trying to make it, you're trying to make it clear that there's twins, that one's done something wrong, the other one's got a boyfriend, one's got arrested, and the other one, there's just far too much that happens in 2 minutes. I mean, your titles, I really like them. Okay, I can see what you're trying to do, and I can see from your blogs what you've talked about, the influence, where it's come from. And I think what you now need to do is that needs to slow down. I mean, those titles, a really good idea, and you can explain how they link from one character to another and sort of showing that. But there's just far too much going on for 2 minutes. And yes, you do confuse your audience, but I don't think that's because you're trying to confuse them. I think it's because the editing isn't clear to make the story. And then it goes back to that thing we were talking about last lesson about making it authentic. So things like the blood is kind of like a perfect little circle of blood, kind of made in a very specific sort of way. The gun, the police officer, the news report, okay, all of those things need to be much more authentic, okay? And I just think you need to strip it right back and just not give as much of the story as you have, because you're trying to do too much in 2 minutes.
okay, if there was like any part that you think we should cut so we're not giving too much, is there any suggestion?
Well, I was going to make a different one. I wouldn't say cut, but for example, where Jay comes in, or the Sir President comes in, it's in sort of sepia or some. Is that supposed to show it's the past?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A bit I would cut definitely is the bit where the protagonist gets arrested, because it's so quick that I don't know, unless you reshoot or get new shots, I don't know how you could put that together. So it could be anything else, but yeah, that's just.
Okay, so we
So
should
it
cut
could be a
that.
conversation just saying that one twin did bad. Like you can always sum that up in the dialogue rather than having to show Tanya one twin being.
Oh, so it should be like,
Yeah, and like the pregnancy bit, is she pregnant?
It doesn't.
No,
Yeah,
the bad twin's pregnant and then she kills her man.
Yeah, but what it looks like, because of the clothing and the colours of the clothing, because you have used the same actress, the person who looks at the pregnancy test, to me, is the same person as the one who watches the news. I know it's not meant to be, but that's how it comes across. And I think you don't need to give that away at the beginning, that it's a pregnancy, because it's not clear that it's because of the pregnancy. The whole thing when you get the Prime Minister being killed, that could very easily come through in the news report. So you could very easily just have a picture of him, like a picture of him that comes up and says the President has been killed, but you don't even need to have him being shot. And then I think you need the twin running away happening at the same time as the good twin watching the news, and then your audience can make the connection, because at the moment the connection is not clear between the two.
Some of your notes it's more it's the storytelling rather than the technical aspects, because editing's good in places, camera work is appropriate in places, so music's appropriate in places, so it's more about the storytelling.
so the story is confusing, but everything else is.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
basically.
And the things you told me, so I had a background, but I would just think if you showed it to someone else, they'd be like, what's happening? But yeah.
Guys, you want to join?
I think it seems as if you've got enough footage just to include the bad twin and not even have the whole like twin thing, because it could easily just be about the one person, like being like shooting the Prime Minister and then the news thing, and then her running and stuff. Like with the other, or you could just like forget that you even had two twins and just have the whole thing about the bad one.
I'd be changing the whole story.
Yeah, I think you can't do that because all the planning's gone into looking at that. But I think Johnny's right to an extent that you don't need to focus on both twins as much as that, because it's 2 minutes, say an hour and 40, hour and 45 film, and all of those, because quite often I mean, if you think of, I think it's called The Illusionist. If you look at that film is all about twins, and you don't realise they're twins until the very last 5 minutes, I think it is, when they reveal how they do all their magic tricks. So
That's not thriller, though,
That's
is
the
it?
prestige.
It's not
The
thriller.
Prestige, sorry, not The Illusionist.
Is it thriller?
Yeah, it's to an extent.
Yeah.
Ish.
Thank you guys.
Thank you very much.